Thank you for joining me here tonight in my movie library. I'm doing something unique and different, and I didn't quite know how to name it, uh, but I think we're going to have fun. This is going to be something that we'll do every once in a while. So falling in love more and more lately with books on cinema. I've got a few. My dad usually gets me one every Christmas. I always kind of like really anticipate that, and that's something that I am anticipating this year as well. My better half actually went and surprised me with a couple books that haven't come yet. So hopefully they'll be here by or slightly after Christmas. Some Stephen Thrower books. So what I decided to do was take five of my top books that I've got in my cinema collection, and give you guys like a movie or a set or something really good to go along with that book. So I tried to think a little bit outside the box and do something a bit different. So tonight we've got some books, we got some movies. I'm going to give you some of my wish list of stuff that I want that I don't yet have, as well, because I think it's the time of year. Hey there, Alvin. Welcome tonight, and hopefully you're going to enjoy tonight. We're doing something a little bit different. For those that are in my Crimson Cult, so if you're a part of my Patreon, then you got hit with a video, an unexpected video today. Hey there, Zach, where because it was requested by my Patreon supporters. Hey there, Scholar. Hey there, Dirk, and they asked me about Criterion. So if you're a Crimson Cult member, if you're a Patreon supporter, or if that's something you're interested in, the video that I dropped tonight was 25 must-have Criterion films, and I really had a blast doing it. It runs at around 30 minutes long, and I go over 25 Criterion titles and let you know why those are titles that I really think that people should have in their collection and why that I've got it in mind. So definitely check that out. If you are a Patreon member or you're thinking about becoming one, there's a lot of videos coming, and they're coming on a consistent basis right now. I'm actually very proud of what I'm doing on my Patreon channel. But here tonight on this channel, what we are doing is we are looking at 5 film books. We're looking at 5 like companion movies to go with them. Like could be a box set, could be one film, but we'll talk about why they belong, why these specific movie or movies belong with this book, why it's a good companion to it. So hopefully we'll get a few people in here tonight. It seems like it's a quieter night. Happy holidays there, Dirk. So for those that don't know, Dirk does the VHS podcast, which is an incredible podcast that I recommend everybody check out. Before I go any further, this is around the cold time of year. I'm gonna list a few podcasts here that you guys should be listening to on a regular basis, especially if you like my channel, because you're gonna get like a kind of not totally similar, but good content. Jason, welcome there, man. So make sure you're listening to Supporting Characters podcast. It's fantastic. VHS podcast is incredible. Make sure you listen to that. It is stunning what he does with that podcast. Just to This podcast and Pure Cinema podcast are always amazing. On Just to This, he has different guests, even guys like me. Brian Sauer does an amazing job with that, and with Elric Kane and Pure Cinema, they sometimes have some big guests on there. People like Quentin Tarantino and Eli Roth. And of course, there is the amazing Daniel doing the Cobwebs, the Gothic Cinema podcast, hitting on a lot of stuff that you don't normally see. I know. I gotta watch. I gotta listen to that one. I have not seen that one yet. There's a couple. I banked a couple because I got a couple days off, so I've been banking some podcasts that I want to listen to during that time. So I'm like a couple behind. But I'm a couple behind for a reason, just so you know. So guys, like aside from like fantastic movies, fantastic books, there's some amazing movie podcasts out there, whether they be about films or collecting or different things. Definitely check all these guys out because they are really great. And when I say they're great, I mean they are consistently great. It's not like, okay, this one's really good and I'll come back for like 3 or 4 down the road. No, on a consistent basis, these guys deliver the goods. All right. Oh, Sam and Cat. Daughters of Darkness. Another fantastic podcast, by the way. They don't get to do a lot so much anymore. They did one recently, which I've heard a bit of, but I haven't got to 12 yet because it was Dr. Jekyll and Miss Osborne. I think was the latest one that they did. Because they do so much like commentaries and stuff like that, it's harder for them to get together and do podcasts. So it's kind of a treat when they do, because they get to be the commentaries. Like, they do like their stuff and they're a little bit more. I wouldn't say formal, but but it's different than their podcast. So definitely check it out. I got some tea tonight because I got a little bit of a sore throat, and for those that just came in, the way we're doing it tonight, something a little bit different. And I got 5 movie books here that I'm going to talk to you guys about. I have 5 like films or sets. Yeah, Cobwebs. I mentioned that one just a minute ago. Cobwebs with Daniel. It's a Gothic cinema podcast. It's really, really good. I was actually on the last episode. We talked about the Ultimate Hammer Collection box set from Mill Creek Entertainment. And he actually ranked them. Daniel actually ranked them. Daisuke is amazing with everything he does. And Daisuke is one of the nicest guys that you will ever talk to. I haven't spoke to Daisuke in a little bit, which is a shame because we were talking there for a while. But he seems so busy that I always feel like I'm intruding. So I try not to. I try to I watch his stuff, but I'm like, I gotta send a message. Massacre at Central High, Amy, that's high on my list of ones to hopefully get in the new year. I have been focusing recently on getting some film books. So I got the Jess Franco ones coming from Stephen Thrower, volumes 1 and 2. And my next one that I want, it's on my wish list to get, is one called Nightmare. God. Don't tell me it's just kind of mad. Stephen Thrower's book, Nightmare Cinema. Something along that line. It's just, I'm losing it right now. What is the book name that I'm looking for? I was literally looking at it like 10 minutes ago. It is like in my wish list. Nightmare. Thank you, Damien. I need Nightmare USA, Jonathan Rigby's American Gothic film and English Gothic. There's so many. We'll get into them like down the road. But you want to start with how we're doing this so you can get an idea of what we're going to be doing tonight. So I'll show the first book first, and then I'll show you the movie choice that I chose to go with it. So first off is, and if you like cinema, then this is probably already in your collection. If it's not, I strongly recommend it. Or if you have somebody, hey there, Ryan, welcome, man. Yes, happy birthday, Leonard Maltin. I'm a huge Leonard Maltin fan. It's because of Leonard Maltin that we got those Walt Disney tins up there, and I do have the complete collection of those. So I'm always happy to know that Leonard Maltin is around and he's doing stuff. I used to love his movie guide, which is one of the things I had here. And I said, how do you put a movie with that? How do you pair something with that? So I chose not to go with that one tonight. But I did go with this one here, John Landis's Monsters in the Movies. This is a really, really cool book. Now, I wouldn't say like there's not going to be like a huge critical analysis put into this one. But there are some really good interviews in here. That Sam Raimi is interviewed in here talking about like Evil Dead and stuff. We got like Christopher Lee. There's a ton of great photos in here. And this is where this one shines. So you'll see things here like, I'll just open up a few here to just give you an idea. Night of the Living Dead, go through things. There's human monsters too. It is an incredible, incredible book. And if you've never checked it out, I 100% recommend that you do. It is amazing. It was put out by DK, and it's actually isn't that pricey, and runs at 322 pages, covers included. So John Landis, Monsters in the Movies, I 110% recommend it. So what do you choose? I went through a lot of decision, like in trying to choose the movie for Monsters in the Movies. What do I put with that book? Do I choose like King Kong? Do I choose Q? Do I choose like a Ray Harryhausen film? And that got me to thinking. I looked at a couple of the indicator Ray Harryhausen sets, and I was thinking, when I think of like monsters back in the day, what stood out? What resonated with me? What would be one of the reasons that this book would be in my collection? And it would definitely be Ray Harryhausen, but I couldn't decide on what to go with. And that definitely took a bit of self discovery, and I finally decided to go with Indicators. Unfortunately, out of print box set, but you can buy these all separately. The Sinbad trilogy. Some of the great movie monsters of all time are right here in this. And Ray Harryhausen would do the creatures, of course, with stop motion animation, and he did them in such a way that the creatures had a bit more like life and pathos and it's like humanity, I guess you could say, in the way that they moved, in their eyes. It He just did some incredible stuff, and there are some incredible creatures in these three films. In the Voyage of Sinbad, and of course the fantastically amazing The Golden Voyage of Sinbad with John Philip Law, which most people consider to be like the Sinbad. I like Curran Matthews, but I like this movie better. So you never. I'm a contradiction in terms. I don't have the Bugs Bunny 80th anniversary set yet, or the Tex Avery one, though I do want them both. Unfortunately, funds right now cause out. Right now, it's looking like under the Christmas tree is going to be a little bare because nothing's coming in time. I don't even have my Vinegar Syndrome notification yet, so I may have to call them tomorrow and see exactly what's going on. Apparently, a T-shirt is holding it up, and they're waiting to get the T-shirt to send it out. I'm just like, send it the rest of my damn stuff. Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. I really like the creatures in this one as well. This one doesn't get as good a rap as the other ones, but there's a creature in this movie that'll kind of break your heart, and I can't explain any more to it than that. But when you think monsters that are well done, that stand out, that make you relive your childhood, I don't think you can get a better choice than the incredible Ray Harryhausen Sinbad trilogy, because he just does amazing, amazing creatures, amazing monster work. Me too, Amy. I mean, like at this point, I'm really doubt, and let's be bluntly honest here, that I'm gonna get my Vinegar Syndrome stuff for Christmas. So, kind of to put it like succinctly, uh, same with me. My Vinegar Syndrome stuff is not gonna arrive for Christmas. My Severance stuff is last seen was somewhere in Ontario. But at least, you know what? At least it got out in time. So say what you will. And trust me, I've had a lot of people say stuff because I've defended them. They got my stuff out really quickly. And my Ronin stuff is stuck in customs right now. So those were meant to be the three companies that I'd ordered. And I ordered Ronin early because I figured, okay, at least if one of them gets delayed, then I can rely on Ronin. And Ronin is actually a company that's usually really fast. It's not their fault. They actually got it very quickly. It has been in customs for a while, and that is the reason that I don't have the stuff from them. I ordered like 3 or 4 titles for myself from Ronin. I ordered the rest were for my better half. So yeah. So at this point, I'm hoping that the books that my better half ordered me from Amazon can come in time for Christmas. For that'll be that would be like the that would be key. That would be key for me. Because at this point, I don't think there's anything coming my way before Christmas, and it's I'm bummed. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm bummed. All right, but I don't want to be bummed on camera right now. I'm glad your order came today. Unfortunately, my order, which is my Christmas present, did not come, and I'm kind of bummed about it. All right. Next up is the Canon film guide. Oh, nice. The Teenage Slasher Movie Book or in other words, just the slasher movie book. It just they revised it. And when they revised it, they put some extra stuff in it. And to tell the revised one from like the original one, they just add the word teenage onto it. Did it mean like there was anything like dumbed down for teenagers? No, what's no, that's not what it's meant. It's not. This is done by Justin Kurzweil, and this is a really, really good book. Uh, this is, of course, I think Rogerio Deodato's Body Count. Oh, Zach, this is an incredible, incredible book. And I just had to look through to make sure like the stuff that that I can show, and it goes into like some of the earlier stuff. I really wish I picked that up when it was around. And then you get some of the classics here. There's and it's not just some amazing pictures, but there's amazing write-ups in this one as well. Uh, and it goes through the whole thing. I mean, like chapters on here, things we got the golden age of slashers from 1978 to 1984. That's when the the real big age of slashers. Then we'll go to video hell and the franchises. It goes from 1985 to 1995. And then Scream and Scream Again is 1996 and onward. So it really, really dives into. I haven't seen The Mandalorian yet, like the second season, so no spoilers. I'm actually looking forward to checking out Silent Madness, which I hope I will be able to do before Christmas. Now, to be honest with you guys, I got a ton of slasher films. So what do I choose? I went back and forth. Do I choose something like a Halloween? Do I choose a Nightmare on Elm Street? Do I pick like a Happy Birthday to Me or maybe The Initiation, which was my first choice? Then I went with in a different direction. I wanted to do something that kind of like paid homage to some of the earlier slashers before it, and did it kind of tongue in cheek, and had a unique and in a way was part of like its own little franchise itself. So I went with the very different choice, the choice that I'm thinking nobody else would have went with Sleepaway Camp 2. So this is a slasher comedy. It does have, as you can even see on the cover, like homages to Jason, of course, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is mentioned in here as well. Yeah, that's the thing, Dirk. It is such a fun film. Great, great performance by Pamela Springsteen. It's a shame that she doesn't like talking about the films. She is a fantastic photographer. She does great in this one. I love the fact that every member like every character is named after a member of the Brat Pack. Even having one of the sisters of a Brat Pack member, Renee Estevez, actually in the film. So you get like a ton of that in there. This is a great disc. A lot of cool features on here. One that I strongly recommend, and I do have the 88 Films edition of this as well because I wanted to do both when it came in here. See, Anchor Bay box set is extremely cool. I had a friend that was gonna was said that, okay, I'm gonna send you that Anchor Bay like Red Cross set because that had the Survivor in it. That never showed up, but that's okay because that's what happens sometimes. All right. Third book is one of two by this author. And this is a book by Troy Haworth. Troy Haworth does some really great commentaries. You'll find them a lot, especially on Jello commentaries. And this is The Haunted World of Mario Baba. This is a revised and expanded edition. And I do recommend that if you do want to pick up this book, you do go for the revised. Did I have to replace with 50 movies? Oh, that sucks, Amy. An expanded edition, because even Troy Haworth says at the beginning of this one here that he was not satisfied with initially how this book was done. So he went in and he really reworked it, did some great new stuff with it. And there are some fantastic things in here. Troy Haworth does great write-ups on films. I don't always agree with Troy Haworth on films, but I always respect his opinion. And I love his books. Shock definitely has a really great... Shock has a great jump scare in it that I do recommend. And if you've never seen The Haunted World, never read The Haunted World of Mary Bava by Troy Holworth, I do recommend it. He's a great author. It is a great, great book. And what did I choose for my Mary Bava? I had to go with the classic. Now, I'm not good. Maybe the initial Bava book, but that's why I always say for that book, uh, for the Bava book that he did, uh, Damien, what I'd say is, and he said this too, like he wasn't like satisfied with the initial book. So if that's for that book, get the expanded edition that came out later, because that is definitely the version to get. Do I have Leonard Maltin? Nope, I'm actually I don't have any Leonard Maltin except for the movie guide, which is a shame because I used to have a few Leonard Maltin books, but I had a lot of movie books that just didn't make it through some moves. So the Bava choice for me was Black Sabbath. Now, why didn't I choose Blood and Black Lace? Why didn't I choose The Girl Who Knew Too Much or Bay of Blood? Black Sabbath is a gothic. It's very Bava. It encompasses pretty much all of what you'd expect from Mario Bava and him at his peak. Exactly, it is amazingly shot. We got like Boris Karloff in this one. This here, like even this picture here, creeps me out. This is extremely creepy. It is so well done. It will stick with you, and it's just got such evocative imagery throughout this film, and it is a film that really gets under your skin. The old woman scene is fantastic. So when this was made, when they brought it over to the U.S., they actually recut the film and put the stories in a different order. So neat thing about this one here is you get both versions of the film. You get the actual European version with the European score on here, and you get the re-edited, redubbed AIP version with the Les Baxter score on there as well. So one of the things that I noticed with a lot of like when these were put out in North America by Kino, you'd have to often buy like two different releases to get both versions of the. Hey there, Craig. Oh, this is a creepy movie, man. To get both versions of the film, but with the Arrow editions, I got to say, if you're lucky enough to have the Arrow editions, you always get both versions of the film. Charworth makes it onto the list again with a second book, and I'm not lying when I say this is one every one of you guys should have in your collection, especially if you're getting into Jello. And that is his first volume. I don't have the other two, but I'm going to get them. So Deadly, So Perverse, 50 Years of Italian Giallo Films. Volume 1 deals with 1963 to 1973. So the films that I had to choose from had to be within this perimeter. Now, he did a second volume to follow up for the other Giallo years, and he did a third volume where he didn't talk about the Italian Giallos. The third volume is actually Giallos across the world, so you got like a lot of Spanish Giallo and stuff like that as well. I'm very, very excited. I have not read the third volume, but I'm very excited to actually like look into that one because I know a lot of the Italian stuff, and I cannot wait to like get the second and third volume in my collection. I got to be very careful here because Giallos often have a lot of nudity. No, but I don't think I have, Ken. If I have, I don't remember it, but I want it. I 100% want it. I was actually going to mention that later on. Grinders Purgatory books from 42nd Street Pete. I will definitely have that on the list. Oh, it's a New York Ripper. Well, there are some great things. There's some like Troy Holworth always has like they're well illustrated, they're well written, extremely good books. If I'm correct, Ken, I do think that the Mondo release is another Grau release. I probably pronounced that wrong, but be right back. Definitely one that I want to grab. Now, there was one perfect choice for Volume 1 of Tri-Howard set. Book. There's one perfect choice. When will Vinegar Syndrome announce February Jello titles? I'd say more than likely in January. We'll probably get those announcements in early January. I don't think they announce them anytime before Christmas. Unless you want to do like a good faith thing because of what's going on now with the... So the perfect choice for Tri-Howard's first book on Jello, So Deadly, So Perverse is this one right here. The complete Lindsay Baker box set. If you don't have this in your collection, like resting on your shelf right now, I don't know what to tell you. This is an amazing set. Why don't you have this? Yes, please, 100%. If you're here, please hit that like button because it really does a lot for my channel. And it makes sure that if you just came here and you like the video, then you're getting, and you're subscribed, you get notifications for sure because the more likes that there is on a video, the more chance you have of actually getting notified. So the fact that there's 24 people and only 7 likes, I'm watching that, guys. Hope you got it for Christmas. I hope you do, Damien, because I think you're really going to enjoy it. All 4 films on here are incredible. So people like them to different degrees. It's really hard for me. Like, to put it, I go through these over and over again. Well, just a... Showed her the devil's honey. Oh, Dirk. Okay, well, first off, although the devil's honey is by Fulci, it's not a Jello. So your wife can go in again feeling a little bit better. I would say for your spouse, get this set. This is gonna be a lot more of what she'd really enjoy. And there's 2 different like versions, like two different camps of Jello. There is the kind of the earlier camp Jello, which is kind of called the Jet Set Jello. It deals a lot with mystery, with different parts of the world, and it's more. It won't be as exploitive. It'll be some like some nudity and stuff. But it won't be as much blood. It won't be like really won't be too harsh. And there's the kind of the Argento aspect of it, the other side where it's like super violent and gory. Lots of the red stuff, lots of like violence and sexuality. Sometimes those go together. But those are ones that I like. There are 2 different camps. This is the first camp. Start with these, like 100%. So I'm not even joking. If you want to get your wife to watch Jello, and then you go into like stuff like Birth, Curse, and Plumage, which is amazing, by the way. That one I think she'd like. Do I collect soundtracks as well? I do collect some, not as much as I want to. My record player's broke 4K. What's the one Blu-ray you almost pulled the trigger on, but I didn't that I regret? Oh my God. There's so many. There's a few. A lot of the earlier Mondo like releases that came out, like the Blu-ray releases, those limited editions. I really like doing Dangerous Cargo, An Ideal Place to Kill. A lot of those like this year. I'm glad. That's why when Mondo announced like their sale, and they had the 3 for January, I grabbed all 3 of them right away. Because I was sick of missing out on the Mondo like limited edition releases that were coming out, and I was tired of just getting like the regular releases afterwards, and sometimes not even getting those because you went out of print. So I guess right now, like I'm sure there's always going to be something that I'm going to not think about, but that's my guess right now. That's my thought for right now. Hey there, Dave. Welcome, man. Ted Raimi tonight about his favorite 2020 home video release. You were talking to Ted Raimi tonight? He said everything Severin. It makes sense. He's got a lot of stuff that came out through Severin, and I'm guessing he's got a really good working relationship with them. And although Severin gets a really bad rap, especially on my channel recently, Just look at any of the comments underneath my Severin videos. They get a bit nasty. They I do enjoy their output, and I think that they put out a lot of really good stuff. So I would agree with yeah, Ramy, because of course he's got Skinner from Severin, and it is an amazing release. Everybody should own it. So the 4 films on here, by the way, is Orgasmo. I don't think it's like an erotic film. It's not, but it's really cool. Now this is a really really well done film, and the characters in this one, they're sadistic in a different way, in a unique way, in a kind of a mental psychological way. And there's a song in this that plays over and over again, and it's kind of like almost like a torturous song, and it is so well. And I love the song; it's got such a great beat to it. This is such a great film with a unique, almost a Greek style ending to it, like with the type of Jello that it is. So Sweet, So Perverse is a really, really, really good film. What's the best Jello not yet released? I don't know, actually. It's a good question. It's a great question, actually. We'll do a video on Jello in the near future. Let me do one. We'll do one in the next few days on Jello, and I'll get up my Jello stuff, and I'll look into it, and we'll talk about like Jello, like on a more depth. And this one here, of course, has doesn't just have like has doesn't just have Lindsay doing it. Just doesn't just have like Carol Baker, but Erica Blanc is in this one, and she does a really great job in this movie. Erica Blanc is the suffering wife in this film, and she is so good. Next up is A Quiet Place to Kill. This might have the best ending out of all the ones on this set. It is really, really well done. And again, we got a great cast here. We got I think Gene Sorrell's in this one, right? Maybe I'm thinking maybe there's one before that Gene Sorrell in it. Yeah, it's the one before. Uh, it's one of these. I'm sure it is. But anyway, this is a really, really good one. And just so you know, this one has a Sam Deegan commentary on it. The one before it, So Sweet, So Perverse, this has a Cat Ellinger commentary on it. So, and this one here has an Alexandria Heller Nicholas commentary on it. So they really, really go all out with the commentaries on this one. And if you thought that was enough, no, Nightmare USA, the cover, the name I couldn't remember earlier. There's an interview with Stephen Thrower on Knife of Ice, and this is really good. Why do I like Giallo so much? I think it's for me, Giallo's a perfect film. I grew up loving reading like mystery novels, loving like stuff like the Agatha Christie style stuff. I love films that are more that are stylistic. I love the style, the evocativeness of the camera work, the way that it's shot, the way that the colors bleed out in a lot of the giallos, even in the black and white ones. It's just gorgeously the way that it's done. For me, a giallo genre film at its peak is a perfect film because it gives you like stylistic camera work. It gives you some really really great soundtracks, some fantastic gorgeous actors, some beautiful sets and scenery, and just some incredibly like fun twisted little kind of topsy turvy little stories that where you don't know who's good or who's bad, or even if you do, why they are the way they are. It's the first watch of a giallo was always the journey of the story, and you kind of the visual treat of the eyes. The second watch, when you already know who the killer is just really really starting to enjoy it. 110%. Forgotten Spaghetti Westerns would be an amazing, amazing choice for Vinegar Syndrome to do. They have not delved really into, aside from Lost in the Dust, I really can't think of any real westerns that Vinegar Syndrome has put out. I'm not sure if you're on Twitter right now, Ken, but if you are, I would 110% like mention that. Like say, Vinegar Syndrome, you really, really should be putting out a Forgotten Spaghetti Westerns box set. Tag Vinegar Syndrome, tag Brad Henderson, tag all of them, and tag Joe Rubin, and because I would buy the hell out of that set. And if you have the ability to get into a company yourself and do it, that's money, baby. That's money printed. All right. The last book, and then we're going to talk about the Mon Macabre release and some other stuff on here. I can eventually do it, yes. Is a book that I got this year, and one that I really have fallen in love with, and it's one of my favorite books in my collection. And it's the photographs of Kim Gottlieb Walker on set with John Carpenter. And if you don't have this or you haven't seen it and you love like really good candid photography, I 110% recommend you check out this book. Remember the picture that you see, the picture that you normally see with like Jamie Lee Curtis, like kissing Michael Myers. I don't have the Tex Avery Screwball one, not yet. And a lot of the back behind the scenes stuff. Then they were photographed by Kim Gottlieb Walker, who's worked on took photos behind the scenes on a lot of the early Carpenter films, and she is an amazingly fantastic photographer. So you can see some of like the incredible work that she does here in this one, and I do mean in like incredible photos that tell a story of their own. There's of course Escape from New York. And this goes from let's see. It deals with Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, Halloween 2, and Christine. So those are the ones that it goes with. And what I chose for this one here was I left it over there. It wasn't one choice. It was two. It was the 4K releases of Halloween and Christine for put out two seminal John Carpenter classics that I 110% recommend if you're getting into 4K this year. Are two releases that are very inexpensive to get, and that is a treat and a treasure to everybody that has a 4K system. $200. Well, she is a professional photographer, so yeah, that's probably about right. My better half collects art, and not gonna lie. Like some of the stuff that like over the years, like especially when we were doing better. Not that we're doing bad now at all, but you know what I mean. Like when things weren't as tight. I remember I picked up some artwork for her, and I know that I spent quite a bit. She lost all the original negatives from Hell. Oh man. Luckily, this book is around then because like there's like you the Christine disc. It is a great disc though. You picked up. You got it, even though if you don't have 4K, Damon. That's a really great like disc that they put out the Blu-ray. Of course, the first one's put out by Twilight Time. The same transfer, by the way, that you got for your $10 Sony disc. I got to my collection as well. A fantastic little disc, and one that I recommend. You don't have to have have 4K to dive into a really good print of Christine because you got a really good print. But I'm trying to give a little bit of everything. That's why. I'd rather like work on on kind of coaxing them into bringing it Big Trouble in Little China on 4K. Now over in the UK, don't they already have Big Trouble in Little China on 4K? I'm just trying to just thinking because I think they do. So 4Ks are region free. So if they don't, uh, I'd say we might. Oh, Escape from New York. Oh, so they got the fog right too. So if there's a way to get it in the UK, the UK will do it, and then can what you'll do and what I'll do as well is we'll import it and we'll and we'll get the 4K edition with a better box and a better setup than Disney would put out anyway. Let's be honest. Disney's like puts the most work into the releases that are animated. So we would never get anything more than a standard, like bare bones, probably just with the Fear Interviews 4K release from Big Trouble in Little China from Disney anyway. So let's wait to see another country do a better edition of it. Well, Disney Fox had the UK. I'm not quite sure, but it'll be interesting to see because rights are different in when it comes to different countries and where they were put out. Just look at the Halloween films. Like the whole Halloween, all the Halloween films, took us forever to get a Scream Factory Halloween set, right? There was a UK Halloween set, by the way. That came out like on DVD. It came years before. Same with with some of the like others. You could find like other sets from other countries, like with the whole. I don't mean bootleg sets. I mean actual sets. But over here, it was a logistical nightmare because so many different companies had released the films in theater. That's why the Friday 13th set almost seemed like an impossibility at one point. You could get the Paramount ones, but you couldn't get anything else. You said it's the best release now, but Ragman, we had to wait years for that release. Like, we waited a long time. Like, my dad had the UK release of the Halloween set years before. There was one release here in North America. I was very jealous. But that's why going region free always helps. It's one thing I'd recommend to everybody on my channel. If you have the chance to go region free, do it because it will. Hey there, Robert. Welcome, man. Change the way that you do collect. 100%. If the second that you're region free, the shackles are off. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, like, you don't realize it before. Like, you don't realize like what region free, what the difference is. Because you're going out and you're picking up your Criterion, you're picking up your Scream Factory. You think, well, I've got the most fantastic. Hey there, Michael. Welcome. I don't think it is actually in the long run because I think that it can be, but the thing is that region free can help out. To have a region free all 4K discs are region free. It's just the Blu-rays that aren't. So I have region free Blu-ray players. I've got 2 of them, and I have a 4K player. So any disc that's 4K isn't locked, except for one. Scream Factory, like Shout Factory, found a way to lock a 4K disc. I know it's not, it shouldn't be, and I know it never should happen, but apparently they did. Studio Canal did some really good releases, 4K. You do have the option to spend a whole lot more money. But you have the option to get like a better release. How many times, like for instance, have like somebody like that hasn't been region free maybe went out and grabbed like the Scream Factory edition or like another edition of like a regular film, like a John Carpenter film, or grabbed something like The Thing, for instance. Remember, Scream Factory put out The Thing, and people were super excited about the Thing because this is going to be the definitive edition of The Thing. Until you realize that this exists, and not only is this a better print, it's not the same print that Scream Factory has of The Thing. This actually is a really better print, but it is stunning. It is super gorgeous. And yes, please, guys, it's a little disheartening. We have so many people in here, and we have so few that have actually hit that like button. So please, if you're in here, can you please hit the like button? It's something that does help out the channel a lot, and I really 100% appreciate it when you do. It's Christmas time, guys. Don't be Scrooges with your likes. I don't yet have the Alfred Hitchcock 4K set. I do have a really good Blu-ray set. The Masterpiece Collection, Master Collection. What's it called again? That they put out. The one, the almost like a book. And I also got another Alfred Hitchcock set over there that came out a while back. And Damon, I always appreciate that. So thank you so much for that. This is my favorite artwork for the on here for the thing. Why is it like this though? I got to keep looking at my stuff because where it's down in the basement, I got to keep checking because you know moisture in that in the air. It had the. I do think that will eventually get Beastmaster. I'm not sure if Vinegar Cinema put it out, but I will eventually get Beastmaster 2 and 3 for sure. Everybody see the Rad announcement, by the way. That was a big surprise. Now, for those that don't know, and I'm sure every single one of you guys do, I'm hiding that Black Sabbath case because it creeps the hell out of me. Rad was put out by Vinegar Syndrome as a 4K release. He had only 12,000 copies that the person that owned the rights to the film let them do. It was only to be done if they would put it out in 4K and Blu-ray, and it sold. It sold better than anything else that Vinegar Syndrome ever put out, and it made a lot of people that didn't even know Vinegar Syndrome existed know that Vinegar Syndrome existed. And now, and now, after the 4K release is gone, did everybody see the Rad announcement? It has nothing to do with Vinegar Syndrome, by the way. Vinegar Syndrome did their deal, and we're completely upfront about it. But for those of you that missed out on getting Rad when it initially came out, I think everybody was shocked, but pleasantly shocked. Let me just bring it up here. I'm hoping that this is something that I'll get a chance to, coming up March, I'm hoping something I'll get a chance to review is their edition of it. But there, you can see it right there. It is a steelbook for Rad. I'm pretty sure it's a steelbook, right? Yeah, but not just a steelbook, but it's a Mondo steelbook. And for those that collect steelbooks, those that know more about it than I do, 4K. I think you know your steelbooks. Mondo's like a well-respected name when it comes to like what they do with the artwork that they do for different steelbooks. And just to let you guys know, Mill Creek Entertainment was able to snag up the Blu-ray rights to Rad, and not just put it out, but put it out with a Mondo steelbook with a slip cover. It looks gorgeous. I cannot. It's coming out in March, and I've got the 4K of it, and I do some reviewing when it comes to Mill Creek releases. So I'm hoping that's going to be one that I get to check out. But I've said it here on the channel. Hey there, Trini. Before, is that Mill Creek has been making a lot of big moves over the last couple years, but especially this year. We're starting to get like box sets that are must-haves from Mill Creek. Two of the box sets of 2020 on my list for this year. Two of the best box sets that came out this year were put out by Mill Creek. It was a Hammer Ultimate Collection. It was a Rita Hayworth Collection. They blew me away with how good the transfers were, the curation of the films, and for the Hammer set, the commentaries as well. Yeah, one-on-one film release. So Rad is getting around there, guys. For years, it was one of those that you couldn't find, and now it's got and you know, good on them for keeping it out there, and good on Vinegar Syndrome for doing what they did with it. Because you know, at the end of the day, Vinegar Syndrome still has the only 4K release of Rad. So if you're a 4K person and that's one of your favorites, that's fantastic. If you weren't able to get it or you couldn't afford it, then you've got in the UK you got the 101 Films release. If you're in North America, you got a sexy steelbook, a Mondo steelbook, and that's from Mill Creek Entertainment. Mono's a huge record soundtrack company. Posters, the artwork's amazing and everything. It's incredible artwork that they do. Re-release of Raz Why movies can never be more collectible than video games. I wouldn't say that. Like, because just like different video games, just like your regular your WWE and then your deluxe edition, and all that, different like versions of video games come out there too. Same as different versions of films. For me already, like I collect both movies and games, so I have a unique perspective on that. And I don't mean I don't I collect. I'm a retro collector as well. I have all the systems right from like the Atari. Well, I don't have all of them. Like, don't get me wrong. I still have a lot to get. But I got the Atari 2600 on up to like to the modern day systems. All the Nintendos though. But keep watching Mill Creek Entertainment in the new year, because they have been making some big moves, working, getting features done on special releases. What I think Vinegar Syndrome's next big VSU is going to be. It's hard to tell, Robert, because we've only seen one so far. A Japanese Invisible Man set. It looks incredible. I actually want it. We've only seen one VSU so far, so it's really hard to say if they're going to keep going in that direction. And Sedaris box set. I wouldn't see that quite yet. Eventually down the road, I can see them doing it. But they just recently put out the Blu-rays, and they put out the like a DVD edition of the Andy Sedaris films, like an updated edition of the one that they had before. A lot of features on the Andy Sedaris stuff, by the way. Really, really well done, like commentaries and stuff like that. And fantastic, by the way. If you haven't seen the Andy Sedaris films on Blu-ray that Mill Creek put out, fantastic transfers on those releases, which kind of blew me away, because I was really surprised that the Andy Sedaris films looked that good on Blu-ray. Not because I don't think they were shot good or anything like that, but I just thought like the elements wouldn't be there. But I guess they were, because me and my cuz was his last night here before he went back to Newfoundland, and I just like we turned on one of them, and we couldn't believe it. We were like, "Is this is an Andy Sedaris film I'm watching?" And it looked so good, and it was so crisp. Did anybody else have these releases, by the way? Just so I know if I'm preaching to the choir or not when it comes to this, because Andy Sedaris films are extremely fun. That's the one thing that I can say. But yeah, companies to watch in the new year, watch Mill Creek Entertainment for sure, because they're putting up, they're doing a lot of like big plays for different stuff, and they already became known over the last couple of years, last 2 to 3 years, for like the stuff they've been doing with a lot of the TV stuff. Hard Hunted, I think that might be the one I watched actually, Damien. But Jason got them all, which is amazing. I don't have them all. I only got like 4 or 5 of them. I got to buy the rest. They had they put the Hammer collection. They put a Battlefield Earth. Imprint is another one. I don't have any of Imprint's work, but their stuff looks amazing from what I've seen. Like aesthetically, at least, it looks amazing. Don't have them, but a good friend of mine, Brian Sauer from Just a Disc, he's got all this stuff. Heath from Serial at Midnight, another guy you should be watching, 'cause he's really good, by the way. Really nice guy. He has the Imprint stuff. I haven't had the chance to get into the Imprint stuff yet. I do really want to check them out, but that's on my wish list in the new year. 2 companies that I don't have anything from that I can tell you right now. So, you want to think of birthday presents for Aaron? I don't have any Imprint. I don't have any Cauldron films. Basically, what happened, the reason for the stacking right now is because a lot of stuff has to be changed around. We had some issues with the cats where they're getting a bit older and up in age. And one of my cat's back on medication now, as I mentioned last night, that they could be peeing around the lower end of here. So I've had to empty out all the bottom rows of the shelving, because I don't want to risk them like pee going in to any of the films, of course, right? So I've got all these like bottom shelves that I can't like can utilize right now, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to reorganize. Kino does amazing stuff, and every year I think Kino gets just a little bit better. I'm interested to see. I've loved the fact that they put out a lot of these like direct, like actor oriented like sets that kind of like throwbacks to the signature collection in the DVD days. And we've seen a lot of that come out from Kino Lorber. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes in 2021. Who's my favorite underrated Canadian filmmaker? Oh wow, that's a really good question. Underrated. I'm trying to think. I can give you underrated Canadian films that everybody should see. I'm going to go with Gordon Pinson. Most people know him as an actor, but Gordon Pinson actually is made films himself as well early on. There's a film that he shot in Newfoundland, and my grandmother on my pin side, she basically when he was shooting the Rowdy Man, when he was making that film, um, he crashed at her place for a couple nights when he was making it there. So he shot part of the Rowdy Man in St. John's, and he shot a lot of it in Corner Brook as well. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to stack them. You have no other choice. Well, I'll send you guys out a wish list, put a wish list of stuff that I need, and you can donate to the movie. Yeah, I heard that. I actually haven't got Beastmaster yet, so by the time I get Beastmaster, I'll probably have the replacement disc with it. I still don't have my Friday the 13th like replacement disc. I know everybody's getting those. I haven't got mine yet. Like, guys, I haven't got like it's so disheartening. I'm not gonna lie. It's like what Christmas is like next was next Friday, right? So it's a week from today, and I don't nothing that I ordered, nothing has come in. Absolutely not. None of my presents have shown up. Vinegar Center hasn't even haven't even got a notification. Like Severance shipped them out like maybe a day or two afterwards. Uh, like so I was so but they're just stuck somewhere. Uh, Ronan stuck in customs. Uh, Vinegar Syndrome not yet shipped, and I don't cannot say I don't blame the I know Andy on the Canadian side for Vinegar Syndrome is really good, and he's the guy that's working basically working on his own. We'll upgrade to 4K with Friday 13th set. Uh, they're only, Damien, I'll tell you right now, when they do Friday 13th 4K, they're only going to do the first four. So yes, I'll upgrade. Yes, I mean, it really has, and especially right now, and I do try to take that into consideration. It just like I understand it, but I also understand when people come to me and they vent their frustrations as well because I'm right there, and my better half is like, well, it's not a serious thing to worry about. You know, you get them, but you just get them after Christmas. But there's something special about like, and we do used to do them on Christmas Eve a lot, and then we'd have something we'd open on Christmas Day. But as we got older, it became Christmas Eve. Um, of having that special gift under the tree on Christmas Eve that you're anticipating so much. Um, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. The only thing that held my shipping back was the T-shirt. Actually, I spoke with and I gotta say, excellent service from Vinegar Syndrome when it came to like some people like trashed me on Twitter when I said it, and it was real. I actually had to mute a guy. It could be. Did you order the Silent Madness T-shirt? Um, I'm here in Canada, and the Silent Madness T-shirt didn't come with the rest of the order. So like, no, it wasn't just mine; it was everybody's. It's because everybody's like Silent Madness T-shirt in Canada, at least anyway, and that was holding up some of the orders. And that's like me. I can't say like I have nothing bad to say about Vinegar Syndrome. Like it's frustrating. Like for me, like right now with what's going on, like just getting stuff in. But I that's when I'm saying it, I'm saying uh, frustration of the whole aspect of it, not any like thing towards the company. Like when I talk about like when I'm frustrated about something being like it's never because oh I can't believe this company personally chose me to not give movies to because be serious. It doesn't work that way. But yes, I they've been really good to me so far. So I gotta say. But hopefully my books will come before Christmas, so at least I'll have those because those I'm very excited about. I want to get actually I like I said Ragman, and I said this on I'm sure you probably weren't there on but I said 2021 is a new year. It's a clean slate for every company that I've ever had to deal with or dealt with or heard anything about, whether it be Dark Force or Vinegar Syndrome or Kino Lorber, Arrow Video, or Code Red or Scorpion or anybody else. 2021 is a brand new year and a clean slate. So I'm going in completely clean on every one of these guys, and I'm gonna try and give like be kind of be nice. Well, try, yeah, I think I'm a nice person anyway. I try to be. But I do think well, Dark Force has a lot of films that I want. Blue Monkeys is a release that I really really want. So I think I can actually say that we have some very enticing releases. And in 2021, may be the year that I actually dive into a few of those because 21 is my reset year for some releases. I'll tell you, so I'm saying something good right now. They got some really great. I'll say they have some really great releases that intrigue me, including Blue Monkey, which is a exploitation film that I've been wanting for a very, very long time. Amazon's got those deals, man. Getting stuff in there. Now I work for a company that 1 second here. I worked for a company that actually sends ships out a lot of stuff during Christmas. It's actually their busiest season. That's one of the reasons I'm so stressed right now because there are times that I'm actually the guy that you're talking to on the phone if you for a certain item that if you haven't received it, and I will tell you right now that a lot of people do not have the Christmas spirit when they when they call a company because their item hasn't shown up yet or they can't figure out the tracking numbers. So have I seen the book ad nauseum? I don't think I have actually, but it's something I'm going to look up afterwards. Uh, Always remember when you're like sending off an email to a company or tweeting them or you're you're calling them. Yeah, there you go. There's a person on the other side that's working hard and probably extra hours to you know feed their family to survive that type of thing. So just common courtesy, decency is it's a go talk to them the way that you want to be spoken to yourself, or think of it this way. And this is the way that I like to think about it. when I was on the other side of it, is if my grandmother, for instance, well, it was just passed on. Actually, her funeral was today. Uh, so if a grandparent, if someone was calling, and we'll call my grandmother, how would I want her to be spoken to? And that's how I gauge when I'm on the phone, or when I'm trying to call or to talk to somebody, is I wouldn't want to speak to somebody else the way that I wouldn't want one of my relatives to be spoken to. And that hit me, guys. Sorry. On a daily basis, Ragman, call after call after call. I. That's why sometimes it's just really good for me to get down here and talk with you guys, because, and that's why right now I think this time of year, particularly when I mentioned before on my last video, I said I got some negativity on like one of the Severin ones, and it was mostly about the Severin, the company itself, but it hit me because at this time of the year, where I work, there, and I'm glad that I'm actually working, but there's such a negative vibe around a lot of people that call in and yell and complain and like talk down, that this is my reprise. This is my my getaway from all that. So when I look down underneath and I see like negative or nasty comments, whether it be, no, not at all, or I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in. I'm the person that you come to when nobody else can, when nobody else can actually say, okay, this is enough. I'm I'm kind of the person in my family that takes on that stuff. That's what I do. It's just this year has been extra stressful. I lost my grandmother. I think that she who raised me, by the way. So I think with that and cat being sick and work, I yeah, I feel that I can legitimately say that's a lot for one person. So yeah, I can take a lot, but I have breaking points. But that's who. But there we go. We've gone into negativity territory. I don't like that. Let's talk happiness. Let's talk goodness. Let's talk some cool stuff. Let's talk about some new releases coming out. Arrow announced some new stuff. Mondo announced a new release coming out in 2021. I'm super excited for the Mondo release, by the way. I want it so bad. And it's called Hunting Ground. And if I am correct, it's a Spanish film. And I'm going to mispronounce the name. But I think it's Grau, Grau. Guys, how do you pronounce that again? I suck at pronunciation. Mondo titles, Damien, are going to be shipping in January, so I'd say probably about mid-January. Have I seen Amore? Oh, you asked that before. I do apologize. Let me open up my my thing again because it closed up on me. I think I have, but I really got a Criterion release on December 25th, one day after your birthday. That's nice, Wolf. Periscope. See, I've never really used. I had Periscope for so long, and I never used it. But I think there's so many of them out there. It's like there's so many like those social media things. Eventually, some of them are going to die off, right? But Amano's putting out a lot of really great stuff. Amano's had across the board, I have to say, and as crappy a year as 2020 has been for a lot of people, the one thing I can say right now is it has been an amazing year. If you're collecting films, 2020 has been a banner freaking year. Um, and 2021 doesn't look to be letting up. Not a great year for your. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that. Not a great year for your pocketbook, maybe, but an amazing year for a collector. But I don't remember that film, by the way. So if I've seen it, I don't remember it. But it sounds very familiar. So I do apologize if it doesn't like ring a bell with me right now. Mine, yeah, Hunting Ground. Do we know yet, Ken, if if Howl of the Devil is confirmed or not? 4K Santo. Yeah, the Lovelock thing I'm super looking forward to myself. So I really look forward to. I'm a huge fan. For those that don't know, and I know that that Damon does. That I am a huge fan of Ray Lovelock, and I love his stuff. Michael Sipkow too, George Eastman, like three people that I really respect like the work that they do. So I am so looking forward to that disc with the Ray Lovelock interview on it. Yep. So it's Howl of the Devil. Howl of the Devil is like it's key. Like I'm not sure. I'm gonna guess you know it, Ken. But if you don't, and if anybody that doesn't know, like Paul Nashi's Howl of the Devil, yeah, it's one to get. It's really grab the special edition if you can. I think you're gonna like it, Ken. I really do. I know we disagree on some things, but I do think that's one that you're gonna like. Hunting Ground, supposedly cross between Death Wish and Straw Dogs. Yeah, I know. Like from what I read about it, I don't think I've seen it. Like I thought maybe I had, or if I have seen it, then I might have seen like a super cut up version of it, and I don't consider that seeing the film. Uh, so those for those that don't know, Mondo Macabre announced today that in coming next year or next year is Hunting Ground from the director of Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, and that is Growl, right? Like something Growl, like Jorge Grow or Grows. Have a great night there, Dirk, and remember, guys, VHS podcast. Make sure that you check it out because he does great work on there, and he recently did one with Elric, which I gotta listen to. Oh, the Santo news. My better half is super stoked about the Santo news. One of the very first things that she ever told me when I met her before we were dating or anything like that, we were just chatting on Messenger, was she said, "I'm a really big fan of like those old like Mexican West like wrestler films, like the El Santos and the Blue Demons and stuff like that." Um, so when the first things I did when I saw her, so there was a movie at Walmart at the time that I'd never seen called WrestleMania. I said, "Oh, this must be like a Mexican wrestling film. I'll get this film movie to watch this." I was wrong. It was very different from the El Santo films. So very different. What's a release I want to see come out the most in 2021? Use something that's not announced. Probably Alone in the Dark. That's always been like big on my list. But Alone in the Dark is a film that hasn't got a Blu-ray, and it hasn't been announced, so there's no announcement for it. But it's a movie that had like Donald Pleasance and Martin Landau, and of course the great Jack Palance in it as well. Um, had a bit of like a little bit of a kind of a Jason cameo in it as well if you look closely. But Alone in the Dark is a movie that I 100% recommend that you guys check out if you can, and bug all your anybody that's more active on social media than me. That's active on the Twitter machine, as Taz would call it, or not Taz, not Taz. It was Bully Ray. But yeah, Alone in the Dark is one of those. Just like this year, the the movie gods answer my prayers and put out Fade to Black, which you guys know was one I've been asking for such a long time. And they also put out Shredder last year, so that was another one. And so many other titles that I've like talked about on here have gotten release announcements after I've talked about them. So let's mention Alone in the Dark, because that's one that is a high on my list of titles that I want in the new year. So come on, Vinegar Syndrome or Arrow. Somebody put out Alone in the Dark. Who would you see putting it out? Alligator. Again, I 100% agree. 4K. Alligator. I like to see both the sequel put out as well. The Dentist, Blood Salvage, Santa Sleigh is one, and Elves too, which is really cheesy bad. Do I have Alone in the Dark? I don't even think I've got that on DVD, to be honest with you. Like, at least Fade to Black, I had on DVD, right? Um, I was. I'm checking, actually. I apologize. But that made me, like, think. I don't have it. Not even on DVD. Elves, Zach, is something that, like, it screams Vinegar Syndrome, doesn't it? It screams Vinegar Syndrome. Like, or Severin, Vinegar Syndrome or Severin, one of those two companies you see having Elves. You can't, like, like, Elves is not a Criterion title, obviously. Uh, but, uh, but it's a fun title. Do I have more DVDs or Blu-rays? At one point, it was DVDs. Now it's probably Blu-rays. But I'm not sure though, because I got a lot of TV stuff on DVD as well. So it's probably about even at this point. Like this right here, this is one room. With this is my movie room. But when I say this, like the reason I designate it as my movie room, my movie library, is because, as you guys know, I have a TV library as well. Hey there, Michael. Welcome, man. Are you feeling good tonight? And upstairs, I got my study where I put like, a couple hundred things uh, just for that I'm like viewing at the time, for like videos that I'm doing in the future, or like things that I'm writing up, or some editing that I'm doing, and then I've got my, my display cabinets for the bigger stuff, like the Harry Potter all day. I don't know if I could do that. George Clooney hospitalized. Holy crap! Just popped up on my thing, by the way. Did you do a stream that I missed earlier? I've been trying to catch your streams lately, Michael. I'll get it one of these days. I'm guessing you use OBS, right? Streamlab, because I'm not as techy as you are. So I'm just working that stuff out right now for some videos I'm doing in the future. A Blu-ray release of the 1979 Japanese Little Mermaid film. It gets, well, the actual, like, I gotta I gotta start watching some more tutorials and getting into it a bit more. Hey there, Kubrick. Um, the original Little Mermaid story is super dark. Most of those Grimm's brothers, the Hans Christian Andersen story, they're really dark. Like Disney, like they lighten the crap out of those things, man. Uh, oh man, if you can catch, like 100% guys, if you can catch Michael's streams live, do it. I strongly recommend it. Has an incredible channel, and basically, I've been watching him since day one. We have a similar like style when it comes to like stuff that we like. So we tend to like some of the more Z grade sleazier stuff. And it's nice to have a kindred spirit on YouTube for this type of stuff. Ironically, uh, which it was really ironically, VHS video cover art. I don't have that one, but it's one that I really need to get. It looks gorgeous. I've seen a few different people that have had it, and it is brilliantly done. Um, I love, like, that's one thing I miss, man. I like cover art is like, aside from like boutique labels like Arrow and stuff that, like, when you get something like this, which looks freaking incredible, amazing, but for the longest time, when it went from VHS to DVDs, especially like the '90s, the cover that you got was crap. Like, I love the Scream movies, but not one Scream movie so far has a good cover. It's like this like floating head, like, cut and paste type of thing. And like I said, I'm not a techie guy, but I can make a Scream poster. Not a problem. 5 minutes. That's all it takes. 5 minutes. And there's a whole like bunch that were done like that. And then there's the poster, and this is the case. You've seen it all before. And there'll be a girl, and her hand will be out like this, like she's clawing along the floor, and somebody or something will be grabbing her, like either in the shadows, or you kind of see it or you can't see it. But you know what? There's so many movies with that exact like same like artwork on it. It freaks me out. Hey there, Sumo. I'm not a fan of seeing the exact same artwork over and over again. Misty Mundane. Oh wow, this one name I haven't heard in a long time. Is she still working? Like, I know she works under her other name as well, like her real name. But I remember like the old Misty Mundane stuff on what's Seduction? Like, what's Seduction Cinema or something like that? Because I used to have a bunch of. I don't have any of those anymore. But there used to be like a ton of those that came out, and they were like, cheesy, and some of them like only like. Thank you, Zach. Welcome. Thank you so much. My first super chat in a few days. I love the sticker. I love stickers. I could have just looked at it right here, but I looked on the screen because this is my day. Dragon Slayer would be awesome. Who has Dragon Slayer right now? Is that Paramount or Disney? Like, it's one of the two. But I would love to see it get. Now there's a VSU like type release if they could get their hands on it. Like, they put out Beastmaster. I would love to see Dragon Slayer get a VSU style release. Oh no, not Beelzebub. I've never been like his. You got some more posters? Is there a reason you never hung them up? I don't know how I feel about Beelzebub, to be bluntly honest with you. Some of his stuff, it's just not for me. Like, I got some over there on some like sets that they just happen to have his some of his films on it. But Sword and Sorcery would be a great release. Thank you, Matthew. Recommendation for the current Kino Lorber sale. There's a Kino Lorber sale going on right now. You mean the winter sale, the Winter Wonderland sale? Let's check it out. I so wish I could work out Streamlabs, so I could. What do you look for when you look for Kino? When you look for Kino titles, what type of films do you like? Like, there's a good start. Like, I'm not sure if they're on sale or not, but the Outer Limits box sets that came out from Kino Lorber are incredible, and I 100% recommend them. Season 1 and Season 2. Season 1's gonna have the blunt, or like the it's a bigger season, but Season 2 filled with releases. Astro Zombies, Ragman's right. Astro Zombies is a fantastic release. It's got a cool like riff tracks commentary on there. Highway to Hell is another really cool release, by the way, that they did. There's a really, really great blaxploitation release that I'm trying to remember the name of right now. Sugar Hill, that's what it is. Sugar Hill. If you like blaxploitation, like the horror stuff, for me, I'm going to say this. This is going to be controversial. Sugar Hill, better than Blackula. I'm going there. I'm making the big jumps tonight. I don't have Attack the Robots. Is it a good one? If you're into animation, any of their DePatie, like Freeling stuff, excellent stuff. Especially the Inspector and the Pink Panther stuff. Definitely recommend stuff there. I'm a big fan of their Redemption line. So any of their Pete Walker titles, things like The Comeback, I 100% recommend that. Comeback's kind of almost like the Jello films, really. Anything with anything Pete Walker. Jean Rollin, anything Jean Rollin as well. Bushki YouTube channel. I'll look into it. But I'm just trying to hit on their sale thing now. The bloody thing isn't working for me. Alphaville's a really good film. Do you want one of the worst films ever made? And I'm not even joking. But like, it's also super enjoyable because you're gonna like the apple. Now, go in knowing that the apple is insane. It is a musical that is super insane, and I don't mean like it's just kind of insane, a little nuts. It's so insane, Zach. You know what I'm talking about. But you know what? It's enjoyably nuts. Some of the songs are crazy. Um, they got some Jezebel release there. I would 101% recommend the Awful Dr. Orloff, which is a really, really good Jess Franco film that gets really overlooked, by the way. Uh, Jess Franco as a director gets overlooked. He's much better than people give him credit for. I think Randolph Scott's Canadian Pacific is here. I actually really enjoy that. You should, Michael. I would 100% watch that. Um, but dude, if you're going to do the Apple, then you get your substance of choice. The Apple is different. The Apple is it's in its own thing. It's like Michael. It's like I don't know if you've talked about this. If it have, I missed it. But there's a movie that Severin did Intervision fit one called Things. It's a Canon exploitation from 1989. I know you got it. Uh, yeah. Anytime anybody tells you like they got the Thing or the Troll and they've seen all the bad movies, show them Things. One of your favorites. Isn't that fun? And he made sequels to that, guys. He made sequels to Things. Was that your first interview? Well, you went in good. There's some great sets here. There's the Ida Lupina set. Still a bit pricey for that one though. Long Goodbyes, another great release. I did a whole year of WTF movies, Damien. That's how I found like Vinegar Syndrome in the first place. Around like 6 years ago, I did a 5 6 years ago. I did like a yeah, around 6 years ago now. I did a WTF year. Basically when it might have been like 10 or 20 people that was watching the channel at that point. Um, and I started like talking about Vinegar Syndrome, and it kind of steamrolled. It only meant to be like for like the first few months, and people tended to really resonate with that, and Michael knows exactly what I'm talking about. So that's kind of where things went with my channel afterwards. Well, that although I talked about like Criterion and I talked about film noir and drama and musical and stuff like that. I love anything Jacques Tourneau. Actually, I am a huge fan of Tourneau. Uh, I think Nightfall is gorgeous. I think anything that's shot by Tourneau is gorgeous. I've seen the Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmares, but the guy I did not know that was a thing till now. So I haven't, but now I 100% want to. But yeah, no matter what I talked about, it tended. I did mention Alphaville uh, on the Kino sale. I mean, back when the film started to. Okay, yeah, I got to see that. Um, it seems that like certain, we'll say like a brand of films became like something that kind of overtook my channel. It was a bit of a surprise to me, but I think it's because I've got like a pure love for that style of cinema. and it really comes from just a place like a deep appreciation, and I think that comes across actually, for good or for bad, comes across. Kitchen Memory episode on YouTube. I'm gonna check that out. I'm not sure I'm gonna check it tonight or tomorrow. I got tomorrow off too, so The Strange Door. Anybody ever pick up? I haven't got it yet. It was like came out from Arrow Video, uh, but the Dr. Jekyll and Miss Osborne. Years ago, like Linda Blair, right, and guy from Airplane. Oh my God, how can I'm horrible at names tonight. I really am. Mr. Magoo. Bloody hell. For my point is I'm 90 minutes in, so I apologize if I'm slipping a bit when it comes to stuff. I have seen Repossessed years ago though. I don't remember what I thought of it. To be honest with you, Leslie Nielsen, thank you. See, look, I should know that right off. I was going to say the dude from the beginning of but yeah, I totally forgot. I'm gonna need like memory pills. That's what I'm gonna need, memory pills. Here's the thing. Here's the whole truth of the matter. I have so much useless knowledge put in this in this head of mine. Uh, Not the useful stuff that gets you hired like in a big corporation job type thing, but you want to know stuff about C grade cinema, or you want to know which movie like Don Shanks played Michael Myers in, and then yeah, hey, that's me. You want me to talk to you about geography? Yeah, I'm gonna suck at that. Am I good at math? I'm okay. I was never a big fan of math. My better half's amazing. Like, so if math comes in the house, so like, then if math like becomes a person and comes in the house and threatens us, my better half is taking the lead there. Moncler's good at math. We're not even good at counting the amount of films we got. To be honest with you, it's like I have. At a certain point, you just like you try and you're like, oh, I got so many thousand here, and you're like, no, I'm done. Because then they're like, so do you mean like movies or box sets or movies with box sets with so many movies in them? It just gets too hard after a while. Ever seen the horror film Grace? I think I have actually. It's 4 years old, right? It's the one I'm thinking about. Is that the one with the baby bottle? Or am I thinking about something else? I could be thinking about something else. It's the one with the baby bottle. I think I've seen it. Ever get your films you realize you can never watch them in your lifespan? Oh, that is probably true. This year, yeah, and I have seen it. I don't remember it well, but I know I liked it when I saw it. It made an impression. Oh, math is your kryptonite. Truth is my kryptonite. I'm bluntly honest when it comes to things. That's always been the case with me. Like, I like to think I'm like nice or like Canadian nice, disarmingly nice. But I'm still. That being said, if somebody asks me something, I usually answer it. And sometimes even if they don't ask me, I just answer it. Haven't seen Tobe Hooper's Crocodile. I think. I did. I don't have Sledgehammer. I really need it. I need Sledgehammer. I need Suffer the Children. There's a few titles that I need. Actually, when it comes to the Severance stuff, same with the Vincent stuff. Like I got a couple things in Vincent that finally coming. Like if when they arrive, Red Rose of Passion, for instance, finally Trip the Teacher, finally, or those two are I'm finally getting. Those have been on my list to kind of to pull the trigger on for a while, but I just haven't done it yet. So the only one in the sexploitation like series, because Vinegar Syndrome had this like short-lived like signature sexploitation series. They only did 4 Blu-rays of it, and then they cut them. They weren't selling well enough. Was I think is Seeds Vapors, the Andy Milligan one, which is the only one I don't have, and I got a DVD somewhere here of like one of those films, which I think is Seeds, and it's okay. It's not my favorite Andy Milligan, but I really have to look at it again just to see. Yeah, actually, I think like Michael, to not be in all honesty, did you know that he had sexploitation series? Do you know how many people didn't know or only discovered that Vinegar Syndrome had a sexploitation series after they announced that they were ending the sexploitation series? So what I think it comes down to is they weren't marketed as well. Now, right now, when you think of Vinegar Syndrome, the first thing that you think about is incredible marketing. Like, it was one of the first things to think about, is they market their stuff so incredibly well. Like, their brand and stuff now, you know VSA right away. You know exactly what it is. VSU, bam, brand new. But you know what it is. And as more VSU comes out, you kind of get a feel of what's going to be there. Well, it's very different than My Blade Valentine. Though it does have the Pazuzu like title as well. For those that have not seen the Sexploitation Signature Series or don't know what I'm talking about, hold on a second. I'll see if I can show you one, and you get kind of an idea of what I mean. So I'm big on branded stuff, and you know them right away because they were numbered. And as you can see, yeah, only 4 in the series. Right here, you can see the Sexploitation Signature Series. Like, this is number 2, and this is number 4. Number 1 is Joe Sarno's Red Rose of Passion. Number 3 is Andy Milligan's Seeds and Vapors. There's only 4 to collect. Of course, number 4 is Fugitive Girls. I love this cover, by the way. And number 2 is Pickup. So a lot of people don't even realize this exists within the Vinegar Syndrome, like annals of of collecting this. So there's a lot of people out there that collect the Vinegar Syndrome, grab the slipcovers, they get all that type of stuff, but they don't realize that this is a thing. And for some reason, and I have never been able to figure out why, it's a limited edition, by the way. Joe Sarno's Red Rose of Passion does not, I've never seen it show up ever in Vinegar Syndrome's limited edition set. And you know what I mean. I know Warlock, I know Michael, I know, like a lot of guys collect Vinegar Syndrome that know this, that know these titles are going to know that for some odd reason, although Red Rose of Passion is the first title, and a lot of people may have missed, like have been missing it because of this in this series, it's never in the limited editions. So I don't know exactly why that is, but I'm finally grabbing it. That's the thing. A lot of people, Jason, didn't know it was a limited edition. But here's the thing. These were all limited to, I'm going to see if they say right here. I think around 2,000 to 2,000, 3,000. Yes. One's 2,000, one's 2,500. Pickup is 2,000. But once they're sold out, they're not ones that are getting standard editions. They're ones that, like, they had the rights to, I think, and once they're sold, I think they're sold. I think that's it. So, just to give you a heads up for when the site comes back up, if it's ones that you don't know, that you didn't know that you had to grab, and you're trying to get all the limited edition stuff from Vinegar Syndrome, there you go. There's ones you may not have known that you wanted. All right, Joe Rubin. I don't think angry letters is the right way to go about it. There's some interesting titles. Hey there, Matthew. Coming out, by the way, from Vinegar Syndrome in the new year. See, I think at this point, Michael, I should have at least gotten a T-shirt or something from Vinegar Syndrome after having promoted them for the last 6 years. A notification that, hey, you're doing a good job. I don't get like review releases or anything like that from Vinegar Syndrome. I'm in Canada, Atlantic, Canada. We rarely get review copies of anything here. So when I talk about a Vinegar Syndrome release, it's usually my hard-earned bucks. So I do this on my own dime. It's just I really like the company. Same with Severin. I really like Severin too. And they get a. I'm not sure if you got any. Have you got any blowback at all on the whole Severin thing? Because I know you talk about Severin stuff too. Like I get like angry. Yeah, I do actually. A couple people, a couple friends of mine in the U.S. They're not so angry at me, but I'll get like these comments that are, and it happens on like on my Twitter. It happened on like a couple of my videos. I did one called like a Severin, you said Severin Redemption, and I think I did one too. It was like kind of like Severin's Severin's comeback, or that's something along those lines. And they were like so mad, like no, I'm still mad about the halfway to Black Friday sale. Uh, I'm so mad at Severin from that. I'm like, come on, guys. See, at least Brad, Michael, comes to your live streams. I've been doing this for quite a while. Maybe I got to be not so nice. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm too Canadian. I think that's I'm just too nice. That's the problem. The darkness flow through you. Are you like the Emperor? Is that what it is? Are you Palpatine? Um, I try not to sweat the anger comments. It's just this time of year, man. Like I gotta chill a bit when it comes to like I seem super chill. Did you know that entire times I was in high school, uh, like there was I usually I was pretty geeky, right? But I what shocker. But I got along with everyone, and a lot of like the real like the big stoners like really loved me, and they thought I was like high all the time. And I was like, no, not all the time. Uh, but uh, but they did actually. Just I think it was just my personality. The Dark Backward, Ed and His Dead Mother. Good choices actually. I haven't heard anybody mention the Dark Backward. Well, I'm in Canada, man. I can be, and I'm not. So that's saying something. What's my opinion on Vigilante? I love the film. I don't have the Blue Underground. I don't have any 4K Blue Underground releases. Also, high up on my list of things that I need to pick up. One of my favorites is probably going to be Daughters of Darkness because I really dig that vampire film. I always liked that. John Carlin, of course, from Dark Shadows, and I guess later on Cagney and Lacey, right? Um, but I dig that. Vigilante is one that I want. One of my favorites is going to be New York Ripper. Because I'm going to say it right here, right now. Uh, I'm a huge New York Ripper fan. That's one of my favorite movies. Is the extra features on Tales of the Uncanny worth the additional $6 or so? Uh, I like to think so because I know that my better half, uh, she thought so, and I do like them dirty Jellos. These are the good ones. She pre-ordered. Like I thought she wouldn't get me anything Vinegar Syndrome because one, money was tight, it still is, and two, shipping. Uh, So, but behind my back, she went out and she got me a couple things. And right after my nan got sick, when I found out my nan was dying, I she said I got you some stuff, and I wasn't going to tell you, but it's probably not going to be for Christmas anyway. So I'm going to let you know what it is. And for the extra film, yeah, I would go for it. Like she said, like at one point she was like, do you want the Make Flicks pack? And I said, I really do, but I didn't get it on the sale price, and it was like it had gone up there, and I'm like, I can't. Have a great night there, Alan. I can't afford it right now. It's just way outside of our range, and it's a really good thing that I didn't, because the next day the cat got sick. Holy crap, man! What a year it's been, right? I've heard amazing things, Jason, about the Daughter of Darkness transfer. Amazing things. Like people like kind of hammed and hawed a bit, like at Blue Underground re-releasing stuff. Said, oh, they're re-releasing the same things over and over again. But they're only just putting them in 4K. And then people said, do I really need that 4K release? And then they put out their first couple 4K releases, and they blew people's minds. And they were like, holy crap, we really do need these 4K releases. Should Criterion be embarrassed that some of their titles are being released on 4K by less prestigious distributors? Well, I would say Arrow is just as prestigious as Criterion at this point, in my not so humble opinion. But yes, you're actually really 100% should be. Blue Underground is extremely underrated, and people just say they're re-releasing the same stuff, but they are spending insane amounts of work on their 4K transfers, and it shows. Exactly. We all those we couldn't get, or at least we couldn't get yet. I always like to think of Morlock as not movies that I couldn't get, movies that I can't get yet, that I'm going to pick up yet. And the Blue Underground 4Ks are ones that I 100% want. The release it is a great idea for a stream actually. So I'm like putting it in the back of my head because I know it's going to be one that I'm going to do. My better half always says that. She says like don't just do streams on stuff you got special. I got a couple special edition blues like I got Zombie and Maniac. So it's harder for me to like justify like grabbing, even though I know like the 4K transfers, it's justification. Grabbing them because I pay like $50. Like I'm in Canada, man. I paid $50 for Zombie. I paid $50 for Maniac. But I do eventually I want them all. Like I do. I'm just waiting for like them to go down in price or see some sale somewhere. Win a lotto. Work a street corner. I don't know. I I do. I talk about Scream Factory actually quite a bit, but especially when like I championed their box sets. I think like they're doing really good with their box sets. Their Friday 13th box set was amazing. So was their Omen box set, incredible. Which you should have it. The Fly one, I kick myself for not having it yet, but is another amazing box set. They lost a bit of like good faith when it came to the 4K release they put out that the region locked, and you're not supposed to lock a 4K region release. So that was a bit of a iffy thing. I would love to be able to get something from Grandos Tampa because I hear such great things, and I've seen some of his videos on Facebook, and he seems like just a friendly guy. But it just would cost a bit much for me. See, but you got to think, Matthew. Now with they do great transfers, but 4K isn't just about the picture. 4K is about the sound. 4K is about just getting a more realistic and Criterion should never be like sad about their transfers unless it's the original Unibaba transfer. I got that. They, I'm glad they put it at 4K, put it a Blu-ray Unibaba down the road. That wasn't a good transfer. Uh, oh, I got Wrecking Critters. Hell yeah, the Rec set is freaking incredible. So is the Critter set, and there's like a ton of features on that. The thing is, Zach, unfortunately, where I'm in Canada, it gets a bit more expensive because you got to do the exchange rate, and then there's like the shipping and all that type of stuff. That's the killer part for me. Any films that the owners simply refuse to release the rights of. Yes, yes, there is. The basically, see that buxom lady right behind me, right there? Those Russ Meyer films, Russ Meyer State. Probably one of the most wanted things in my release is like I have like some Blu-rays of the Russ Meyer films. I got the complete collection over there, but do I have them on Blu-ray? No, because the Russ Meyer State Iron Fist with the Russ Meyer releases. Top 10 predictions for 21. Actually, that's one I am doing. So that is a great prediction for you because that was one that I am working on. Well, Klanos is like legitimately uh, uh, pretty much a crime scene. So I don't think that should be released ever. I saw it years ago before they took it off the shelf. Not very good. You're not missing anything. How do I want the Lando show done? Honestly, just do a cool Lando show. I'm very, very lax when it comes to my Star Wars. I just like fun stuff. Well, I want the Black Emmanuel set. Like I know that's coming in 2021. Childish Gambino musical Lando. I'd watch that. It said you're a warlock after all. I want both Lando actors in it. Possibility. Well, one, yeah. There's a possibility. There's always a possibility. This is Disney, man. They got the money. They can do it. Anybody else think Rec 3 is insane? I do, actually. People rag on Rec 3 all the time. It is such a fun film. And it's such a different film from the first two. And that's, I think, one of the reasons that people kind of rag on it. Do I think Pin will get a release? Pin is one of my most wanted releases, so I hope so. It was written by Andrew Niederman, and he's a writer that I actually really, really like. See, that's the way I feel about Warlock. I love the entire Rec series, and Rec 3 is such a breath of fresh air for me. Because you can only get so far with like with doing the same thing, and then you pitch. Digital de-aging. You mean like when they do like I don't mind it. It's got to be done right. I liked what they did in Captain Marvel. I saw that movie like twice in the theater, so. Oh, but first time for Doctor Phibes, really good film. Maniac Cop 4. I thought you were going to say musical first. 4K box set. Well, Maniac Cop 2 and 3. I think the rights to the first Maniac Cop are initially were with Synapse, but Lustig hopefully has them now, because I would love to see like that to be the first Blu-ray Blue Underground like box set put out. You'll like Pan Warlock. I really think you will. Good luck on a cameo appearance by Terry Quinn on it, by the way. I got like the Canadian DVD release of it here somewhere. Yeah, I found it like I think at a yard sale. Runner could do some incredible box sets. But I think if they're initially going to do one, I really would like to see them do do like start with Maniac Cop. And I even like Maniac Cop 3. I know, throw on the hate, but I do like Maniac Cop 3. Will we see a good Nightmare on Elm Street box set in 2021? I think it's kind of inevitable. That being said, I was hoping that because Scream Factory worked this year with New Line to put out like the Friday the 13th box set, that we'd get to see like a really good like relationship start between New Line and and Scream Factory, so we get like Nightmare on Elm Street next. That was my prediction. I got the box set, and I realized that the New Line ones are the ones that don't have a lot more extra stuff added onto it. I think with Freddy vs. Jason, isn't it the same disc actually? And I know that Scream Factory would put the effort in to get features for those films. So if there's no features, like if there's no extra features on some of them, I know there is for like Jason Goes to Hell, but if there's not for like Jason X, or if there isn't for, I think there's for Jason X actually, but if there isn't for Jason, for Freddy versus Jason, then that's because New Line didn't allow it. So I'm a little bit more tentative in that prediction right now, but I'm hoping that it happens. Oh, the first Vincent Price set is fantastic. They're all fantastic. My favorite Vincent Price set that I got, it's my Bragalicious time is my Arrow one over there. Yeah, I was hoping they would have done more with the with the remake one as well, because but there's a lot of, there are some cool features on there, so always interesting stuff there. But with that being said, guys, 115 minutes. So this is the length of, normally recently I'm doing things that have been the length of your average exploitation film. So, but this is the length of like almost of like an It film, or or something along that lines, of like of a more respectable drama. It is that time, Kubrick. I am Aaron. One thing before I go, please hit that like button. I truly appreciate when you do. If you have not checked out my Patreon channel, and would like to helpfully support in that way as well, I am putting out some really consistent videos on that channel, and I'm very proud of the ones that I've done. Tonight's video on Patreon, I try to do at least 2 or 3 a week, is top 25 Criterion films that you must own. I am Aaron. You are the Call to Cinema. To my Super Chat supporters, to my Crimson Cult, and to my Call to Cinema here, you guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. Christmas is almost here. I hope you guys are going to have a great Christmas. And we'll be back here talking, hopefully tomorrow night, for some more Call to Cinema. Have a great evening.